So hey guys, welcome to another Warframe video, and today we're going to take a quick look at our newest ARC gun that was just released with Hildren Prime Access, the almighty Larkspur Prime. Now, since this is a primed weapon, the only way to get it is to assemble it from its primed parts, which you can either get yourself by opening specific relics or by buying the parts from other players. But since relics rotate in and out of the game quite frequently, I will just leave a link to the official Larkspur Prime Wikipedia website in the video description so you can check it out and see which relics you want to go for. The Larkspur Prime is a Master Rank 8 ARC gun that has two different fire modes. It either fires a continuous beam, which does primarily radiation damage with a little bit of impact on the side, with a 14% crit chance, 1.6 times crit multiplier, and a 50% status chance. Or you can press the secondary fire button, which will change the weapon into charge mode. In this mode, the weapon with the projectile does mostly blast damage, but still a decent amount of impact and radiation, with a 28% crit chance, a 2.2 times crit multiplier, and a 38% status chance, with the projectile then detonating in a massive 9.6 meter radius, which does 800 damage in total, which is split evenly between blast and radiation. Now, even though the secondary explosive projectile has considerably better stats, the primary B mode is much better in pretty much every scenario outside of super low level content where you can one-shot everything with the explosion. The beam just has much better DPS, and it still provides a decent amount of AoE thanks to the beam chaining around. Plus, the secondary charge mode will also consume 10 ammo with every shot, which will deplete your heavy ammo quite fast. Now, the primed version of the Larkspur may not be as big of an upgrade as you might think. It provides a little bit of extra crit chance and multiplier for the beam, with faster fire rate, higher crit chance, and higher status for the secondary fire. But that doesn't mean it's not better. It is considerably stronger than the regular Larkspur, especially with the primary beam mode, which feels much better with the extra crit. As far as the build goes, there aren't that many options for ARC gun, so you're basically either gonna go hybrid or you're gonna go full crit. For normal missions, we're just gonna run Prime Rubidoux Line Barrel for damage, dual rounds for multi-shot, Parallax Scope for crit chance, and then we reinforce the crit chance even further with Critical Focus, which provides additional crit chance when you're aiming down sights. Then we're gonna slap on Hallowed Bullets for critical damage, and we top it off with Magma Chamber for hidden status, as well as Contamination Casing and Hyperthermic Shell for virulent status. If, however, you want to use this for bossing, more specifically the Profittaker in Orb Valleys, we're gonna go with this build instead, where we run Radiation and Cold, and we replace Critical Focus with Automatic Trigger for extra fire rate. It's also worth mentioning that if you want to do the Profittaker with this and you want this to be your primary gun there, it's better to go with pure elemental mods, which will give you more damage. Now let's talk performance. So with the Gravimag in Atmosphere, the gun feels absolutely top notch up to about level 70 or 80. At that point, the heavy units, especially heavy Eximus units, become far too beefy. This is a bigger problem for ARC guns than most other guns because heavy ammo is pretty rare, which is also why the weapon holds up much better with the Necramag, because you don't have to worry about ammo at all, so you can fire it willy-nilly since it doesn't actually use ammo and it instead uses the recharging system, which by the way is not that bad. It recharges pretty fast. Next on the menu we have actual Arcwing usage, and this by the way is footage from Steel Path, and as you can see, this weapon absolutely owns it. This is probably my new favorite gun for Arcwing. It is absolutely top notch. Probably the best ARC gun in the game for just regular missions. And finally we have the Profittaker, where I was pleasantly surprised because the weapon actually does good damage. It melts the legs relatively fast. It's not the fastest one out there, but it's still pretty good, and it does decent damage to the Profittaker as well. The only downside here is that if you don't clean the enemies out and you have a lot of them running around, it will sometimes tether to them instead of the Profittaker. So that's really only an issue if you have the really big enemies spawning in, so you have very high alert level and you get the Arachnids to spawn, because the other enemies die very fast to it. So all in all, a pretty well-rounded ARC gun. I would actually recommend you pick it up. It's just a solid ARC gun that's fun to use in Atmosphere. It's solid against the Profittaker, and as I've mentioned already, it's probably the best ARC gun you can use in regular Arcwing missions. And as always guys, I thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the video and found it helpful, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.